Hey, can you hear me? Seals. Come on, man, come on.
This teenager was shot multiple times just minutes ago. The wounds on his body were so severe that officers could barely look. But what they didn't know yet was that this scene marked the beginning of something much darker.
I just wanted to inform you that medical did everything that they could, and your son Amillier is dead.
No.
I'm very sorry for your loss, man.
But what no one saw coming was that weeks later, another mother would be called into a room not to mourn a victim, but to discover her son was a wanted killer.
I wanted to see if there was an explanation as to why your son shot somebody else.
What?
Yeah,
My son?
your son.
At 8:10 p.m. on June 2nd, 2024, the Grand Rapids Police Department received multiple 911 calls from Umatilla Street Southeast, near Madison Avenue.
Rapids 911, what is the location of your emergency?
I'm right here on Paul and you Umatilla. Some boy just got shot right here.
911.
Yes, we need emergency over here on 413 Hall. Somebody was just gunned down in the parking lot. He is breathless. Please, ma'am, hurry up.
Are you with the patient?
Yes.
Okay, do you know who shot him?
I saw him, but I didn't see the description,
Okay.
bro. I don't know who that was. Still,
All right,
bro.
you're already on the way.
The urgency in the caller's voice hinted at something far more serious unfolding. Hence, officers were dispatched immediately. At the scene, they found a teenage boy lying in a pool of blood, struggling for his life.
Hey, it was one. I saw it, man. It was one guy.
I need you guys to go over there. We'll talk to you in a minute, okay? Come on, man, come on. Yeah, no demos.
From her son's phone saying her son got shot. Amillier Penne.
What no one expected was that he was already beyond saving. The medical examiner would later describe injuries so catastrophic that survival was never a possibility. But in those first crucial minutes, paramedics fought anyway, because the victim was a teen and his mother was racing to the scene. He was identified as 15-year-old Amillier Milli Penne. Just minutes earlier, he had been playing football with friends, but now, officers were preparing to deliver devastating news to his mother, Claudia Penne.
So, Claudia, I told you I'd come back and talk to you, okay? I just wanted to inform you that medical did everything that they could, and your son Amillier is dead. I'm very sorry for your loss, man.
Milli Penne was shot 8 times, all from behind. The wounds were so severe that there was no chance to save him. He was pronounced dead at the scene by paramedics. This wasn't a random act of violence, it was personal.
Is your son 16, 15?
15.
Your son's 15 years old, so it's a child, okay? We're going to do everything humanly possible to find the person that hurt him, okay? We will do everything humanly possible.
In the chaos of that moment, investigators had no idea that they were about to uncover a web of teenage violence. But in a neighborhood where witnesses rarely came forward, detectives already knew this case wouldn't be easy.
So far, no witnesses have come forward to say what they saw, and that's due to the trust issues.
But when I talked to Millie's mom and I told her we're grieving with her and that we will not forget, and I meant it 100%, we're gonna find his killer.
It was time to review the body cam footage again, searching for anything they might have missed.
I saw it, man. It was one guy.
I need you guys to go over there. We'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
In the immediate aftermath, potential witnesses were pushed back as officers focused on saving Milli Penne's life. It was the right call, but in doing so, they overlooked a voice that could have changed everything. By the time the police realized their mistakes, the witness had disappeared back into the community. Finding him again would require detective work almost as complex as solving the murder itself.
The number one thing that you are doing there is to try to save this child's life. And watching that body-worn camera, I want to hear that story so bad. But the truth is, those officers have a job to do, and I don't fault them at all for telling that young man to get back. Unfortunately, that means we may have missed a critical opportunity to hear what that witness saw.
That missed opportunity only added pressure as the investigation took on a new urgency. Now pinned their hopes on tracking Milli Penne's phone data.
Phone guys, they were able to map him where he went. So he leaves the house on Baxter, he goes to Henry, to Watkins, to Union, to Umatilla. So we need to probably go out and see what we have for cameras in that direction.
People are fearful that if they participate and cooperate with an investigation, they don't want to be targeted themselves. Witnesses are leery to come forward, but we assumed that we would have some Ring doorbell home security footage. We wanted to get our hands on that.
Detectives canvassed the area, looking for security cameras, doorbell footage, anything that could identify the killer.
Hi, I'm a detective with the police department. Saw you had a camera out front. I'm wondering if that works at all.
Hi, dear. There's no problems. I saw your camera. Can I talk to you for 2 seconds? No issues, I promise. Okay. Thank you, dear.
After days of searching, they finally caught a break. Security footage from a nearby business captured the entire sequence of the shooting. It was grainy and distant, but it told a story.
But you can make out that Millie ran and the suspect chased him. We can see Millie fall. The suspect's arm is extended and that he's shooting at Millie. And then we see the suspect run back toward the east. Shooter's gonna walk up through here. You'll see right about here, people scatter. Victim sprints this way, suspect sprints this way, victim goes down right here. Suspect is up, it's blurry. Suspect's with the victim for, 2 seconds, and then you see the suspect sprint straight back through here.
The footage confirmed what the autopsy had revealed. Millie had been running for his life. All 8 bullet wounds came from behind. The killer had chased him down, executed him in cold blood, and was still on the loose. But finding answers in a community where snitching could get you killed wasn't going to be easy.
We're encouraging more people to come out of the woodworks and say, yes, we don't want this in their neighborhood. But in 2022, distrust in the police department was at an ultimate high.
I can't even imagine how scared he must have been. And my heart just is crushed for that family.
It is extremely frustrating that we had 15-year-old Millie killed in broad daylight with numerous witnesses. And because of this trust issue, those witnesses aren't coming forward.
However, detectives found something chilling on Milli Penne's phone. A Snapchat audio message from just minutes before he was killed. That voice message was the last time anyone heard Millie speak.
Now, I don't know who's looking for me, but they're spinning in a white Durango with tints, and I'm scared as hell.
How far before the shooting was that recorded?
I thought 7:38, but that one looked like it's on 8:02.
That's like right out the heel.
Minutes.
Yeah.
Because the call came in at 8:09.
Yeah.
Every word Millie spoke became evidence. It proved that this wasn't a surprise. It was an execution he saw coming, but couldn't outrun. Someone in a white Durango had been hunting him, and Milli Penne knew he was in danger. While the police searched for evidence, there was one person who saw everything. The teenager eager to share what he had witnessed as soon as officers arrived on the scene. But his voice was lost in the chaos, and that silence came at a cost. However, had they listened to him earlier, they might have gotten to the suspect much faster.
This boy picked up his phone after the shooting. Was just like, ma'am, get over here. I'm so thankful that he called me. And he stayed on the phone with me until I made it there. Probably was hugging him, seeing him catch his last breath. I just kept telling that boy, please, Tom, don't die. And he was like, your mom needs you. Please, dude, don't die. She's right here.
Cops spotted the teenager at a local park and approached him. But talking there risked his street cred. People might label him a snitch, and police contact could put him in danger. To ease the tension, officers offered him a right to talk in private.
How are you? I'm Detective Leonard. What do you want to do? You want a hug? Hey, we need to holler at you about what happened last Sunday. You probably don't want to do that here. Can you jump in the car? And if you want, we can even have Porter pretend like he's arresting you. But we need like a 10-minute conversation, and I doubt you want to do that right here. We just want to talk to you about, you're not in any trouble. But what I'm saying is, do you want him to handcuff you like you're getting arrested? That way.
No. Tell me what they think.
Then, all right, hop in the car. We'll meet you at headquarters, okay?
He seemed indifferent to what others thought and appeared eager to lend a hand. But the real question was whether he would tell the truth or back out to protect himself.
Well, you know why we want to talk to you, right?
About the situation that happened over at mom's house.
Yeah, I knew you would tell.
Yeah.
So we saw you on video, right? Can you kind of walk us through what happened?
It was so light that it sounded like a firework. And once we turned, we saw a boy running away from the other little boy that was laying down. It was just like a black hoodie just running away. I ran up and I had grabbed my phone. That's when I called the police. And
So you called 911?
yeah, really all I saw was a black hoodie. Honestly, I feel like the kids that stay in that apartment that's on Umatilla, you know, the farthest to the right, you know the townhouses. I feel like they know something, if anything.
Thank you for coming in and talking to us.
Yeah, we very much appreciate it.
The interview yielded some information, but his description remained frustratingly vague. Just a teenager in a black hoodie. Detectives quickly understood that they were dealing with someone caught between wanting to help and needing to survive. Too much detail could mark him as a snitch. Too little detail meant a killer walks free. So he gave them just enough to help, but not enough to get killed. With no new leads, the family was left to grieve as Milli Penne was laid to rest just 1 week after his death. Then, when all hope seemed lost, a call came in from Milli Penne's father, Corey Penne. A call that would change everything.
Hey, Tony.
What's good?
Millie's friends, they hold respect for me because, you know, I'm his dad, and some just felt comfortable with reaching out to me, and they just kept saying a kid named CP shot him.
16-year-old CP, or Cartier Pascal, was the person Corey suspected had killed his son. Cartier was an aspiring rapper from Southeast Grand Rapids, but his music was more than just art. They were filled with violence and threats. Was he just a teenager talking tough, or was he actually ready to act on it? However, all detectives had was hearsay, which was not nearly enough to make an arrest, let alone build a case that would hold up in court.
I check on YouTube, and CP fits the bill. He is a teenager. His physical description matches. As an investigator, though, I have to remove that confirmation bias and tell myself, just because I have this name doesn't mean this is the suspect. There's nothing substantiated. We have no fingerprints. We have no DNA. We have literally no smoking gun.
While investigators scrambled to gather evidence against their prime suspect, another call came in from Milli Penne's father, Corey. He sounded even more distressed, his voice laced with panic and desperation.
Hey, Corey, what's up?
Oh my God, my hand is bleeding so bad, but I'm gonna call this because I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Why is your hand bleeding, Corey?
Because I was punching.
Okay, all right.
In the house.
Okay, that's fine. The only case I'm working right now is your son. That's it.
Okay.
Everything we're doing is for Millie, okay?
Yeah, I hate the fact that his name is CP because that's what my nickname is. Everybody call me that. That's what my son's last words. Oh man, I wouldn't cover my baby. It's just every village. You know?
I know, Corey. I know.
Acting on Corey's tip, investigators pushed forward, determined to find any clue that could bring Milli Penne justice. However, something unexpected turned the entire case on its head. Corey had posted photos of Cartier Pascal on his Facebook, naming him as the shooter and publicly vowing revenge.
His cover picture of his Facebook to a pistol with 2 pieces of clothing that says revenge. That to me it's a very clear, distinct message that he is going to seek vengeance for or against anyone who participated in the killing of his son.
While Corey's anger made sense, detectives weren't sure if his post was a good idea. They worried it might have alerted Cartier Pascal and compromised the investigation.
I mean, we thought Dad was going to pull the ripcord and just go hunting for him and kill him. Jen and I talked, and we thought there's a chance CP is not going to be alive at the end of this weekend.
Tony was telling me, stay off the internet. Don't post that. You know, it's hard to place your trust in someone else when it's concerning your child, you know.
Corey was furious and unpredictable, pushing detectives to act quickly. As the investigation progressed, they dug deeper into Milli Penne's phone. What they found was disturbing. Several videos of violent street fights, some even featuring Milli himself. However, one video stood out from the rest. It showed Milli beating Cartier.
That's CP. And this could be one of the fights where he gets humiliated.
This video was believed to be the motive behind Cartier Pascal's deadly retaliation against Amillier Milli Penne. It wasn't just proof of a fight, it was clear public humiliation. Officers suspected that in the twisted logic of street justice, the only way to restore Cartier's reputation was to ensure Milli Penne learned a lesson. But even as the pieces started to fit, the investigation was far from over. Just as the case seemed to be taking shape, an unexpected twist emerged.
No high when we see you were dead. He say he got his gun on him, but he ran with it. Like that cake, we gon' do the race. If that was me, boy, I would've shot you in your face.
Cartier had released a diss track targeting Milli, laced with violent threats. The kind of things no one would wish on their worst enemy. The video not only featured disturbing lyrics, but also showed him casually flaunting firearms. For the detectives, this was no longer a coincidence. Cartier's name held weight in Milli Penne's murder.
He is almost putting out a lyrical warning. These are my intentions. Milli did a lot of things that he should not have been doing, none of which means someone gets to shoot and kill him.
But to make an arrest, they still needed something more. A credible witness who had seen Cartier near the scene, or doing something that tied him directly to the crime. Exactly 6 weeks later, just as the trail was growing cold, a potential witness finally stepped forward, and with him, a renewed wave of hope emerged.
Hi. Hi. Last year, some boys jumped Milli, and Milli, jumped them when they think them one-on-one. They jumped him.
Okay, who's him?
Whoever CP is.
So you've heard the name CP?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask you flat out. Was CP the shooter? Okay.
Though the man's contribution to the case was minimal, Cartier's name resurfaced, keeping the suspicion firmly alive. In the following days, an anonymous tip came in, a screenshot of a Snapchat conversation between the sender and Cartier. But since the tipster refused to come forward as a witness, detectives still had no grounds to secure a search warrant against Cartier. Even so, they were now more certain than ever that they were headed in the right direction. The investigation was still in full swing when something incriminating suddenly occurred. On September 1st, 2024, another shooting rocked Grand Rapids, Michigan. A victim was ambushed and shot multiple times outside a convenience store. What made it even more chilling was the presence of the victim's mother. She had been nearby at the time, barely escaping the gunfire herself.
Suspect description: teenage black male, gray hoodie with a mask, possible dreads, left right northbound.
Were you here when it happened?
No, when I pulled up, people was telling me I should have just pulled out.
Is there someone in there looking for cameras?
Yeah, someone just walked in.
Detectives rushed to the scene and began a thorough investigation into the shooting. They obtained CCTV footage from around the liquor store and examined it closely, only to uncover something disturbingly unexpected.
The victim arrived in this car. The mom's still sitting in the car. The victim walks out of the store.
The shooting unfolded in a way strikingly similar to how Milli Penne had been shot, chased, then fired upon, and the shooter fled the scene. To the detective's shock, the man captured in the CCTV footage closely resembled Cartier Pascal.
That is 100%. It's Cartier Pascal.
His presence was undeniable, but the identification was still unconfirmed.
He needs to be arrested. He needs to be in custody. We cannot sit back and allow this to happen again.
The victim of the liquor store shooting miraculously survived the attack and was called in to identify the shooter. However, his memory of the shooter's face was vague, and he could not make a positive identification. Despite the victim's uncertainty, detectives were convinced it was Cartier. The hairstyle, shoes, and distinctive glasses from his rap videos matched perfectly with the individual seen in the CCTV footage.
So then I went to his Instagram. Same glasses, same hair, same forehead, same complexion, same build, same height, same shoes.
That is so clearly him.
It was clear that Cartier was far too dangerous to be roaming the streets. He posed a serious threat to those around him, and his presence likely intimidated potential witnesses into silence. With solid evidence, including confirmation that it was Cartier in the CCTV footage, the detectives obtained a formal search warrant and headed to his location. However, a large police force was needed, as Cartier was believed to be heavily armed and dangerous.
Grams, please, with a search warrant, step away from the door!
Grand Rapids Police search warrant. Cartier Pascal. Make yourself known. Come up to the sound of my voice. Hands on top of your head, nothing in your hands. Cartier. Hands on top of your head, nothing in your hands. Police search warrant. Hands up. All right, hands up. Come on out to me. Keep coming. All right, come on out. Come on out. Okay. Come on out. Okay.
Face away.
Face away.
Okay.
Surprisingly, Cartier did not emerge with any weapons or show any signs of hostility.
He was in the backseat of Officer Klein's cruiser. As I'm staring at him and I'm looking at him, I don't see a monster. I don't see a killer. I see a scared kid.
Cartier Pascal and his mother were taken into custody for questioning, with Cartier being formally informed that he faced serious criminal charges.
Your mom and your name's Cartier, correct? Can you tell me where you were on Sunday, on September 1st?
I don't know. I'm aware of that.
Okay. Since you've cut your hair since then, but you got the same glasses and the same COVID mask and everything since then. When did you cut your hair?
A week and a half ago.
What I'm asking.
So I'm just curious because what is he being charged for?
I wanted to see if there was an explanation as to why your son shot somebody else. That's captured on video.
What?
Yeah.
The entire incident is on video.
The entire incident's on video.
Start to finish.
My son?
Your son.
And it was a shooting?
That's a shooting, yes, ma'am.
Is this person no longer here?
No,
they're alive.
They're alive to us. And that's why I want to know, do you recognize that person? As who?
We know this is your son. This is CP. This is Cartier, right?
You know that to be your son, correct?
No, you're looking right at him.
Yep.
On September 17th, 2024, after Cartier's mother confirmed that the person in the CCTV footage was indeed her son, investigators moved forward with his arrest. Though the arrest was officially for the liquor store shooting, detectives hoped that Cartier, being behind bars, would encourage witnesses to come forward without fear. By then, justice for Milli Penne was being pursued through Cartier's arrest in connection with the broader case. 17-year-old Cartier Pascal was charged as an adult with open firing with the intent to murder for the liquor shop shooting. In addition to this, he also faced felony weapons charges related to the case. Hereby, justice for Amillier Milli Penne remains unfinished but hopeful.